4-H alumni. Today we are continuing our Clover connection, which is going to be new this year as we look at our video series. And today we're at the Illinois State Fair and we'll be doing visiting with 4-H alumni. So Clovers and Carts is our State Fair edition of our Clover connection today. And I'm very excited to have an amazing 4-H alumni with us, Colleen Callahan, who is the Director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. So she has a huge opportunity here at the State Fair. So we're going to visit with her today about her 4-H experience, as well as what all she does here at the Illinois State Fair. So Colleen, should we get started and go for a drive? All right, here we go.
All right.
Colleen, tell us a little bit about yourself and your 4-H experiences.
Well, I grew up here, literally and figuratively. So this is like coming home once a year. It's like Christmas, because you have to wait a whole another year for it to come again.
We had to wait 2 this year, right?
So yes, which is what makes this one so special. But when I say I grew up here, my parents met here. And we are about to approach an area where my grandparents, my mom's mom and dad, had a food stand for 40 years.
Really? I did not know that.
And it was directly across from the hog barn, and my dad came over at that time to get watermelon rinds from my grandparents' food stand, and my mom, who was 9, my dad, who was 13, my mom waited on my dad at the
love
food
it.
stand. So at the time, they were serving watermelon slices, and my dad had been on the show circuit. The pigs were kind of off feed, and they like watermelons.
Right, they do.
So he came over, got watermelon rinds, took them back to the hog barn, and that was their introduction. And they got married and brought me to my first fair when I was 6 months old, and I haven't missed one since.
Oh, and you've been here ever since.
Ever since.
And now you have just such an amazing role here. We'll talk about that in a little while.
Yeah, I could never imagine that I would one day be back and in this capacity and saying, welcome back.
Welcome back. That's right. And it's just, everybody is so excited. As we've been in the 4-H building, everyone is so excited to be back, be able to see their 4-H family.
And that's where Thompson's was.
Oh, I love it.
And in our basement.
You have a picture?
No, I have the sign.
Oh, the sign that goes on the top. Oh, wow. That's so neat. And how long did they have the food stand?
They had it for 40 years.
40 years, you said.
And I think if they had any kind of encouragement, and I did encourage them, just keep going, but reality and common sense was it was time.
It was time.
But I hated to see it go.
Absolutely.
And so it's where I learned how to make change, because my grandma would let me work at the food stand.
Of course. And what a great life experience.
It was.
Oh,
and I had to
absolutely.
wait on people and make sure I got the order right.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, my grandma would let me spend the night with her here. And at night I got to count the change.
Oh, I love it.
Before my grandpa
What a great memory.
I love you.
And did you show here as a 4-H'er?
I did show here.
And what were your projects?
Well, I was pretty one-dimensional. I showed pigs.
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
and I loved all of that, and was fortunate enough to have some champions. And as I was walking through the hog barn today in the junior building, you know, the type and style of hogs has changed.
Yes.
We change as people, but truly the thrill of that competition has not changed.
Oh, it's such a great experience
and
for
I reflected back on what an impact that period of time in my 4-H life continues to have on me today.
And so let's talk about that. How do you feel 4-H has influenced you? I know, it's many years ago that you were involved, but you've been involved as a volunteer, you've been involved in college bases. How do you feel your 4-H experience helped prepare you for life?
In so many ways. I will start off again with my 4-H project, which was pigs. I was fortunate enough when I was 9 years old, it was my first year in 4-H, to have the grand champion of the International Livestock Exposition in Chicago.
Yes.
Well, along with that, this guy.
Hello.
Hi, Philip Nelson. Along with that championship came an auction and that pig brought $23 per pound in 1960, and that was $4,718.
Yes.
And that
Was a lot of money.
it was a lot of money, but it was also the foundation for my college education.
Oh, of
We
course.
really did
That's why
put
you,
that money
yes.
in the bank, and those pigs got me through college.
And I think that still happens today with a lot of 4-H families. Absolutely.
So it starts there.
Yes.
But as far as a career path, then came interviews. You know, the youngest exhibitor to ever have a champion of the international, and that meant meeting Orion Sanders,
Oh, yes.
who had been at WGN then about 6 months. This was his maiden
He was
voyage.
just getting started in his career.
And so he interviewed me. And what I didn't know then, that I do know now, is that was the inspiration to begin my broadcast career many years later, from 9 to 23 or 24,
Right.
after my graduation from the UI. Because I wanted to do what he did, not to be on stage to be recognized, but to ask the questions that
Yes.
he asked, so that I could help other people learn
Yes,
by
absolutely.
those answers to the questions that we were asking. So 4-H influenced my life beyond that. Being on the state 4-H livestock judging team. First woman, so that was an adjustment for everyone.
Everybody, yes, yes.
But it was
But you set a stage. You set a stage for the future.
it was a good period in time for me and for the future of how we view
Right.
involvement.
Yes.
That 4-H experience on the judging team meant that every member on the judging team, as you know, has to give oral reasons.
Yes.
You have to go into the official judge and justify your placing of those animals.
Correct.
Before you know what the official placing really is. So you're defending a position. And that was the recognition I had, and that I liked that. I liked speaking.
Yes.
I liked making presentations. And it just continued to go hand in glove with my choice then to become involved as an agricultural broadcaster. The challenge was there was no way of doing that.
Right. You were the first one to enter that field as well.
But again, I was fortunate. The radio and TV station in Peoria, Illinois was looking for someone to do that very job, because the 70s were good financially in agriculture, and they recognized that if they had somebody doing agricultural programming, they could probably make some money.
That's right.
All of those thoughts converged, and I was in the right place at the right time.
Oh, that's wonderful. And
But
you had
without
such
4-H, I would not have been.
No, because that all set your stage, it set your opportunity to learn public speaking, to be in front of people, to have conversations, and to ask questions.
Exactly.
And I think that all is really important as we talk to 4-H youth today, that they look for those opportunities.
And they do. And you know, most of my life's work for 32 years was in communications. And then when I left that amicably, I knew it was just time. I went back and filled in for several years when they needed me. But what I've done since then, whether it's been at USDA Rural Development or now it's with the state of Illinois as the director of the Department of Natural Resources, all of that is communication centric. You have to be able to, one, rate other people, and then you have to be comfortable sharing a message.
Yes.
And that means when you have a staff of 125 or 1,250, as we do now at time, you are then encouraging that staff to become comfortable with the communication process, because they really are the voices. They've dedicated their lives
to this.
to natural and cultural resources. So it is all communications. All of it,
That's
no matter
wonderful.
what you do.
Well, and it's educational, and so you're providing that education to others, and I think that that's part of the communication process that you talked about, so that's really important. As you've talked about Illinois State Fair and this is State Fair Week. This is a fun week, and so what are some of the things that you've had to help prepare for as you've looked at coming back and bringing the State Fair back to life and having the State Fair in 2021? You have a big role.
Thank goodness we all are here right now. And I don't say that with hesitancy. I say it because there did need to be adjustments. This is still a COVID period of time. So it's a COVID fair, which means that it may not look or feel to some exactly like it always has. But we did our best in conservation world to maintain that feel. And fortunately for us, because we are all outdoors in that 30-acre park that sits right here on the fairgrounds, is the backdrop to our headquarters. that was not the right approach to be that close educating
Yes.
young people who aren't vaccinated
Correct.
at all.
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
you know, some adults
With
here
12 and
will
under,
be,
they're
and
still
some
not there.
adults
Right.
here won't be, but you don't know who that is.
Right.
And we couldn't put the kids at risk.
Yes.
So we made adjustments. And I'm really proud of the staff in how they did that. I walked through earlier in the week and I walked through yesterday with the people were milling and mingling, and it still had the same feel. You know, and
Good.
if someone said,
Everyone looks
oh, I
forward to
miss this or I miss that, you know, the answer to that is, so do we.
Yes.
We do too.
Yes, absolutely.
We want the same thing you want.
Yes.
We all have to make some adjustments, right?
And I think that's, people understand that, and I think they're here for the opportunity. I mean, we've had to make adjustments in 4-H as well, in our 4-H building, and but people are just so glad to be back together. And so I think, you know, there's lots of opportunities that you can build and grow. There's other programs that you do throughout the year
That's
that
right.
hopefully as things get better,
And
that you see clientele coming back and participating.
Absolutely right. I will only put an exclamation point on what you just said, is that we are all continuing to learn and grow
Yes.
through this as well.
Absolutely.
We've never, ever in our lifetimes had to make the kinds of
Experience this.
decisions that we've had to make over the
Right.
last year and a half, and certainly this year. And what we've learned is that we can do it.
We can do it. We can do it.
And here we are.
And we're
We are
stronger
doing it.
because of it. And
Absolutely.
we've all learned a lot in the process, and I think we've all come out stronger on the other side. There's things that we can continue doing, and there's things that we can go back to the way we did it. And I think
Post-COVID, you're right. We may incorporate some of the things that we
Yes,
did during COVID that we
absolutely.
learned, hey, that was really a good thing, but we would have never gotten there without that.
Exactly,
So,
yes.
regrettable as it is, there are some silver linings
been a
that
tough,
we benefit from.
tough time, but we're making the best of it, right? That's what we do. We make the best better in 4-H, and so
right.
that's exactly what we're trying to do. So, Colleen, as we wrap up our golf cart tour, what are some of the things that you would want to tell a new 4-Her to think about and encourage them to do?
I would encourage any young 4-Her to get involved beyond their project.
Yes.
Or projects. For me, as I say, I was pretty one-dimensional, but there also weren't as many options and opportunities for a 4-H project when I was in 4-H. It was pretty agrarian-based.
Sure.
It was a livestock project or a crops project, a home economics, as it was called then, project. And now, it's limitless what you can take as a project. Anywhere from your interest in space, from your interest in science. It does not matter what your interest is. There is a 4-H project that can be part of that 4-H experience. And I would also say, when I say get involved beyond your project, when those meetings even held virtually, that still is an opportunity to give your talk or demonstration. You're just not in front of the live audience.
Right.
But it helps you when you will be in front of that live audience.
Right.
So experience all of it as much as you can, even though it may be uncomfortable. You know, I don't like public speaking. I don't want to have to do that. You know,
It's always that first year fear, right?
It
Yes,
is.
but you have to get out there and try it.
And Eleanor Roosevelt said, what I'm about to quote is not her exact quote, but basically what she said is, do something every day that makes you uncomfortable. Do
Oh, I
something
love that.
every day that maybe you had a fear about, but face the fear, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Because after you've done it and there was no consequence of magnitude, you know, then you'll look at it differently the next time. So do something every day that makes you uncomfortable.
I love that. I love that. That's great advice. So.
Yes, Eleanor was right about that.
Eleanor was right about that. We're going to let that one live on. That's a good thing. So, well, Colleen, this has just been such a treat to be able.
We're back.
We're back at.
We're back
Can we
home
see
at
it?
Thompson's.
We've got to see the Thompsons. Yeah, let's see if we can get our camera over here so we can see where it all began. So, right there. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And this is the 4-H Clover Connection. Clovers and Carts, and we are thrilled that we had Colleen join us today as a 4-H alum, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Tina.
Bye.